So, what drove all of this? Think about it. During Prohibition, when they found out you can't regulate morals, and you can't deny access of anything, they went on to cannabis, or because they just found that it was easier. They already created this DEA and the Fed, so they needed to keep funding it. And the worst thing they could have done, they did, was make marijuana illegal. Because let's just look at it, okay? Okay. This is a CDC website, and I'm not a doctor. I'm a social worker who's trying to implement a change through education, and this does have some very good look at this. Excessive alcohol use is responsible for more than 95,000 deaths in the United States each year, or 261 deaths per day. These deaths shorten the lives of those who die by an average of almost 29 years, for a total of 2.8 million years of potential life lost. It is the leading cause of preventable death in the United States and cost the nation $249 billion in just 2010. No telling what it is. The various types of cancer, liver disease, heart disease, however, short-term health effects from consuming a large amount of alcohol in a short period of time accounted for most of the years of potential life loss, such as deaths due to poisonings that involved another substance and alcohol drug overdoses. Okay. Now let's look at his. This is another site. This is Dell Behavioral Health System. I like them because they have a lot of stuff too. And they've been doing some research, and they said while most of the recent discussion around marijuana is related to legalization for recreational use, it's important not to overlook the topic of medical marijuana. While Colorado and Washington state passed legislation making pot use legal for casual inhibitors without a medical marijuana card, marijuana is already legal for medical purposes in 29 states and the District of Columbia. As of 2017, in California, the first state to legalize medical marijuana, more than 75,000 medical marijuana cards were issued between 2004 and 2014. Now, some researchers are suggesting that access to medical marijuana may positively affect overdose rates. Finding people in states where they can use cannabis to manage pain are less likely to turn to powerful and highly addictive prescription painkillers. It says the rates of overdose due to prescription painkillers has risen dramatically in recent years. So, for chronic pain, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention agrees, citing that deaths from drug overdose have been rising steadily over the past 2 decades, become the leading cause of injury death in the U.S. in 2011. 55% of drug overdose deaths were related to prescription medications. Do I need to read that again? 55% of drug overdose deaths were related to prescription medication. 75% of those involved opioid analgesics. Okay? Now, look. And it should be available to anybody who has, I'm sorry. I just think that it would be a better place without alcohol. But you can't make it illegal because that doesn't work. But did you hear in the states where the cannabis is allowed and legalized, they have less problems, period. More money, more revenue, everything. This is why to legalize. This is why they didn't want it legalized. And that's just the truth. And You have to start looking into this. And I tell kids, it's the drinking's no good. It's just no good. And I've seen people. It was just a weekend, and then what is it? Then it's like after work, and then pretty soon it's you're missing work because you're hungover, so you might as well stay home and drink. I've seen it. And the depression that alcohol has caused, the deaths, the problems, the opioids, the alcohol, the opioids. Where is the cannabis in all this? Nowhere. That's right. It's a weed. It's medicine. And even though I'm not a doctor, I've used it for medical purposes. My doctor agrees. Even the nurse practitioner, all these people, they know. They know. And they told me about the MCT oil to mix with the hemp so that I can have a good quality concentrate of CBD and THC, because it helps many health problems. And I guarantee you, if I'd have been on opiates or drinking, I would be dead. Okay? That's how about that? Is that impressive? I think that's impressive. Even the doctors are impressed, and they should be. And everybody should be doing research on it and growing it and helping people. That's the truth. So, there's your alcohol.